What's up, y'all? It's Kimmy Coco. I am your host for Innovative Black Stations, connecting the dots, and we are back. Last week we had a special guest, so we really didn't get a chance to talk like we usually talk about stuff that's going on. First of all, let's congratulate our guest last week, Shamela Williams, and she won Fulton County Superior Court judge. She led by 14,000 votes. So congratulations to her. We see that really did. People showed out in numbers and record numbers to vote. We also saw the issues in voting. Here in Georgia, it's no secret. There's always something horrible that goes on during the voting process, whether it's voter suppression, the machines don't work, they shut down some of the they shut down some of the locations in rural areas. It's just always a mess. So we need to make sure that the Secretary of State, Brett Roethlisberger, he needs to get everything together. We need to hold him accountable because we're not going to be going through this in November. We're not. I knew and I foresaw this being a problem. They're saying that it's because of COVID. A lot of people didn't come to work at the polls. They're saying it's because the new machines, they weren't properly trained. I don't care. There's no excuse. Stacey Abrams, as we've spoken before on a previous episode about how she started a group that is dedicated to stopping voter suppression and kind of like reporting it and saying where it's bad at. And we saw this all over Georgia. People were waiting in line for hours and hours and hours and hours to vote. Did you guys experience any trouble? Did you vote? Do you vote yet?
I didn't. I actually just got everything switched over Monday.
Okay.
So, I'm official.
Okay.
Georgian, whatever the word is. I did hear about that, and that made me think about our episode with what was his name? Was it George Greenrich? Remember?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
When he was talking about the census.
The
importance of the census, and I remember on one of our episodes.
The census,
right?
Talking about, Professor Greenridge was here, and we were talking about how if they don't know how many people are there, they don't know how many polls to have, how many machines to have, right?
But I'm glad, I can say that I'm glad that it happened right now. So when November come, it's like, okay, well, we got 6 months to get this problem.
It'll be interesting to see if that's what happens. It'll be interesting to see. They better get it together because come November, I don't want to hear nothing. I personally voted by mail, because I knew there was going to be some shit, and I'm scared of COVID, and I don't want to be outside. I didn't think I would be ready to be outside then. So I voted by mail. And I suggest, and I posted it, make sure you guys follow us on CTD_ATL, because in the event of emergency, as we've seen recently with COVID, I'll post stuff on our Instagram page, on our Facebook page, Connecting the Dots. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out some of the old episodes on Innovative Black Stations YouTube channel. And, we just want to keep in touch with everybody because so much has gone on. So, okay, so we talk about the election.
Before we go any
before
further,
we dive in,
like, how are you doing mentally, like, with everything going on?
Oh, I'm fucked up.
Experience, you really being on the front lines, and we seeing this like every day down there, like, and then there's nothing else. There's nothing else for us to pay attention to. Like, we're only paying attention to this.
Oh,
so
yeah.
How are you dealing with this, from COVID to these killings, just to regular life, to work, to just everything?
I'm fucked up. It's a wonder, and it's only by the grace of God that I'm sitting before you all today, because I have gone through severe episodes of anxiety. It's gone from anxiety to like depression to like it's just a roller coaster of emotions over the last few months. I thank God that I made it, because there's been times when, I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but anything that happens to me is a COVID symptom. I'm like, oh my God, like, this all happened right in the middle of allergy season, right? So you're like, you can't, you cough, you sneeze, you have some congestion, you're just like, buying all the medicine, and then the store, it's, oh my God. It was rough. It's hard to get used to this new way of life. So let's not get too crazy. Where do you want to start? Do we want to start with COVID, or do we want to start with the election?
Again, it's
because all of this,
I mean, going forward.
This is life.
Listen, I know people. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I think I've said it before, but Trump did everything he said he was gonna do. He built this wall, and even though he ain't try to do it, he about to make America great. I don't know about again, but for the simple fact that you seeing, it's a lot of healing going on. It's a lot of conversations taking place. We coming together, and I see the bigger picture. But I mean, you don't want. I mean, I know you might not want to give him his credit for that, but.
I mean, not deliberately. He's doing this.
It's not because he was the genius, the mastermind.
Right? Yeah. No,
it was just that we had to destroy everything.
There was nothing left to do but to come together. And the thing is with him and the Republicans getting behind him was very surprising to me because he didn't display any of the characteristics of a traditional, what we would think of as a Republican, right? And then he came in and his whole thing was drain the swamp. We're not going to do this the traditional way anymore. We're going to make people pay their debt to us as Americans. We're not going to get all these people. We're not paying these countries to do this and do that. But was that a good thing? Because now he's pulling out of all those treaties. We need the world. We need to be able to get some information from other parts of the world, right? Because just like with COVID, so let's start from the beginning. We were in February, March, we're minding our own damn business, right? And we talked about this back in our last real episode that we filmed in the studio with Shar Bates. And she and I were discussing you've heard about this thing COVID, right? And it's coming here. So allegedly, from what we've been told, it started in Wuhan. They think it was from the wet market. Some say it was from a lab where they were researching coronaviruses. Like we said before, coronaviruses are common. A cold is a coronavirus. The flu is a coronavirus. SARS is a coronavirus. There's different coronaviruses. COVID-19 they call it the novel coronavirus because it's new. It's a different virus. So they're saying it started at a wet market from an animal. That's not too hard to believe considering the fact that the other ones came from animals too. Remember, like bird flu and, I think SARS, Ebola, I think they all came from interactions with animals, right? So it wasn't too hard to conceive that this could have been how it happened. They're saying that maybe it came from a lab. Somebody let something out and it spread it that way. How it started, we can debate later, right? Because now it started there and spread across Europe and ended up here. Now, New York was the hot spot for us in this country, right? So New York, they had over 300,000 cases of coronavirus alone. New York and New Jersey was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Georgia, it started to become Atlanta. It started in Fulton County and started spreading Cobb, DeKalb. So we're seeing the major metropolitan areas become hotspots all over the country, but New York was really the hub. Now, the governor of New York has gone on record saying that the strain of coronavirus that hit New York was not from China. It was from Europe. So the president tried to get ahead of the game, allegedly, supposedly, and shut the transportation, right? It wasn't soon enough. Now, it's just running rampant through the place. So now everybody's going home. Everybody's stay home work. Don't go out. Then we had a curfew. Then there was no food. Then there was the lines. Then everybody ran and got damn toilet paper. So then, I don't know if you guys remember this, but they started setting up places where people could self-isolate. So if you live with your family and you got it and you couldn't self-quarantine or self-isolate at home, they had little trailers set up. Here in Georgia, it was at Hard Labor Creek Park. Right. Have you ever in your life heard of a more scary place? Hard Labor Creek Park. Now, I pass this place all the time when I'm on my way to go visit my family out in Wilkes County. And every time I ride past there, I'm like, well, what the hell goes on there?
There's like a concentration camp.
So this is the place where the governor thought that it would be a good idea for people to go. And I only saw one person go there. The first case was a guy that worked at the Waffle House. And he went there. He went there to self-isolate until he got better. He never was hospitalized. And he just, got better. Now, that's another thing. The severity of the case, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, just getting tested and you're positive, that's where all these numbers are coming from. You could be positive and never have a symptom. You could be positive and just get a runny nose. You can be positive and be on a fucking breathing machine. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they'll claim it under COVID. So then all the conspiracy theorists came out like, okay, this is some bullshit. It's not what they're saying it is, because if it's that way, why isn't everybody dying? Like, because it depends on your immune system, right? Now they're saying it depends on your blood type. But you got to be open to understand that it's new, so it's always going to be changing. You know what I mean? Don't think that because it's changing, it's because they lied in the beginning. It's changing because they don't know anything about this thing. So now when something comes out, they're like, oh, we found this out. Oh, we found out that losing your taste and smell is a symptom. That's the most common symptom that I'm seeing from people that get it. Because I had a couple of people I know that had it in New Jersey, because that's one of the hot spots. Is it raining? Just out of nowhere. It just started raining hard as hell for no reason. So, So, right now, worldwide, 7.5 million people have coronavirus. In this country, 2.12 million people have it. And we are up to 117,000 deaths. That is a lot. The majority of the people that have died were in nursing homes or assisted living facilities or in jail or places where it's hard to isolate. So it's going to be interesting to see how this, there's still almost 1,000 people a day dying in this country every day. So fast forward, everyone's at home for months. People aren't getting their hair cut. People aren't getting their hair done. The president, the economy is going to shit. Millions of people lost their jobs. And since this is an election year, he thought it was a great idea to just say, let them out. Let them go to work. Let them do what they need to do, because I don't want these bad numbers on my record as president. So let's get the economy back open. We can't afford to pay all these people on unemployment. Then there was the catastrophe with getting your $1,200. It took me forever to get my $1,200. Struggle with that. People struggle.
The $1,200 came, it was gone because the rent you was
right. You were already behind 2 months of rent by the time the $1,200 came, and then trying to get unemployment was a mess. And these are the people that they think have this great conspiracy going on. The people that couldn't even get you $1,200 or have this whole big conspiracy going on. I don't think it's that deep. I think it's exactly what we see it is. I think that he lost control. He didn't know what to do, and he scrambled at the last minute. Close this, close that, throw money at them. And now the money's gone, so, oh, well, if you die, you die. And I see people getting lax because it's exhausting. You leave your house, you got to have your mask. Do I wear a mask? Don't I wear a mask? Then it became political because you kept seeing Trump everywhere with no mask on, but he's telling everybody to wear a mask. But he's not wearing a mask. Right. So people are confused. Now the thing is trying to get people to wear masks. Do you guys wear masks? Do you think you should wear a mask in public? Do you guys wear them?
I'll be forgetting sometimes, though, honestly.
So I'm sitting here talking to you guys, right?
I was going to say, at first, I just didn't go anywhere, period, because I'm like, if I feel like I need to wear a mask, then I shouldn't even, I shouldn't be in public. At this point in time, I'm like, we definitely... There's certain rules, guidelines that you have to follow and whatnot. So I will wear it where I need to, but at the same time, I'm like, you still have to live your life. We still have to feel.
You
some
still
type
have
of
to feel
normalcy,
right.
You
Yeah,
know?
I wear a mask all the time.
Hard. This is very disheartening. Like this period of time right now. I mean,
It's sad, isn't it?
It
The
was-
fact that there aren't thousands of people that have committed suicide by now is
Right.
like, wow.
to think about the domestic violence, the rates
Ah.
going up, all these things, all the child abuse at home, and it's just
Lord help us all.
Right.
But anyway,
many
that's
prayers.
yeah, that's at the end of the day, we should have been trying to get closer to the source, right? Get closer to God, pray, whatever. But you know what we did? We went online looking for DJs to spin online, and guess what? DJ D Nice pulled everybody through. That was great. That was great. He saved me a couple of nights, because let me tell you, I was going through it.
That's, again, back to like our roots, like from the stories you hear, it's always been.
We
like,
always find a way.
We find a way.
That's what we do.
From this versus shit, like we find a way to get through this negative shit, and that's why, like I was even saying before the show, like I agree with you, because if sports start back, if shit just start going back, people TV shows start coming on, like that's gonna be people's release from all this nonsense going on. Like, man, I'm about to just watch the game, so I ain't got to think about none of this going on. And I agree that it might not be the time to start right now, because it's a lot of healing that needs to be taking place.
Well, they're not going to let people go to the games.
Right, I seen through next season, even next season, but still, if it's on TV.
So people are having a problem saying that if you wear a mask, I've heard so many different conspiracy theories, even about just wearing masks. And I'm sitting here talking to y'all, and I just saw a little spit come out. Like, that's how you catch it. Just like how you catch colds and the flu. But see, for so long, our parents have told us, put on your coat, put on your hat, make sure you got socks on so you don't get sick. That's not how you get sick. You get sick from germs, from spreading, from not washing your hands, from touching stuff, from wiping your nose. You touch your face 1,000 times. Spit comes out of your mouth, not deliberately, just in the course of talking. The louder you talk, you're screaming, stuff comes out. So why not cover that up? Cover it up. I'm saving you. You're saving me. We're saving each other. You know what I mean? Wear your damn mask, people.
That's you have to respect.
Respect everybody's life and put your mask on. Like, are you not wearing condoms? Because I don't think so, the way I'm having to convince people to put your damn mask on. Like, what is going on? So anyway, yeah, guys, be careful with COVID. Put your mask on when you go out, when you're around people, when you're talking. I see people now, it's under your chin, it's under your nose. Like, just put the damn mask on. It's fine. I was at Burger King just now, and the lady, I pulled up, and I went to pay my money, and I had my card in my hand. I'm like, why isn't your mask on? Because if I put my mask on, the lady on the headset, they can't hear me. I said, yes, they can, I promise. I promise they can hear you. Okay, anyway, moving on. You have to be careful. Everybody now, we are in the middle of what seems to me is becoming to be the beginning of almost like a race war. The police brutality is not new. Police brutality has been going on when I was growing up, when we called the cops the popo. It went on when my father was growing up, when they called the cops the fuzz. It's been going on since the slave patrols back in the days. This is not new. The thing that's new is the attention that's been given. And it's because people are tired. People have been in the house. People have no job. People don't have sports. People don't have any outlet. So now they have an outlet. They're pouring out in the streets for all these people that are being murdered by police. And the police are still murdering people. Last night, or the night before last, Rayshard, what's his last name? I just left the place. Rayshard Brooks was murdered by Atlanta police. We watched Ahmaud Arbery get shot by two people that weren't even cops. We watched George Floyd's life leave his body on camera. Then we found out about Breonna Taylor. And it's just person after person after person, and people are tired. People are tired. People have gone to the street and protested. People have burnt stuff down. People are tired. And now all of a sudden, the NFL, all these corporations, all these people are backpedaling and saying, we were wrong, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. How are we going to make them stick to what they're doing now? How are we going to make this a long-lasting thing? How do we keep this momentum going?
Sticking to our plan, like, and just continuing to just understand. We understand that it's a problem. Everybody understands that it's a problem. Everybody knew what the problem was. It's just about executing, and being intentional with what you do. Intentionally shop at black spots. Intentionally uplift other black people. Intentionally try to be better. Like, that's you got to be intentional right now. You can't just be lollygagging or just be thinking somebody else gonna do it. You got to do it with you. It start with you. You got to start by setting the example. And everybody just got to set the example. And if everybody's setting the example, starting with themselves, then there's gonna be a shift. And I feel like it's so much. We seeing this shit so much, like people, if you got any type of feelings in your body, like seeing all this gonna make you want to change. It's gonna make you want to, like, nah, this ain't right. Black, white, whatever, Asian, whatever. This is just wrong. Like, it ain't even about race. This is right
It's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Like,
so, at the core of this whole thing is the notion, and we've talked about this on a couple episodes too, of white supremacy and the whole structure and how they try to maintain it. And one of them is policing and being extra tough. And the person that's in the White House right now kind of like eggs them on. Be tough on them. Don't be easy on them. Law and order. I'm a president of law and order. So it's kind of like the last stance of white supremacy. And to me, the people that have been in power before, and when I say in power, I mean in the government, they've had these dog whistle ways of letting people know what they mean. Like, they weren't as blatant as he is. Like, for example, having your first rally on Juneteenth in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the place of the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, is blatant. Stuff like that, saying, I'm law and order. On both sides, when somebody gets killed at a rally. You know what I'm saying? When a white supremacist runs down people at a rally and it's peaceful up until that point, and he says, both sides are responsible. Those are the things that are blatantly disrespectful, that he's kind of blowing their cover. So now that their cover is off and we saw it before because we knew, but, the people that were deliberately being blind to it, now that he's done that, it's like, okay, we're not tolerating that anymore. So here comes our next nominee and our next topic, Joe Biden. He has secured enough votes to become the Democratic nominee to run against Trump for president. Under him was Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden right now has 2,144 delegates. You need 1,991 delegates to win the nomination. Right now, Bernie Sanders has 1,047 delegates. Elizabeth Warren has 63. Michael Bloomberg has 49. Pete Buttigieg has 21. Amy Klobuchar has 7. So that's what's going on. So basically, it's going to be Joe Biden. And people are complaining because it's Joe Biden, but I ain't trying to hear that. You know why? Because there was 20 damn people running. There was 20 people. So why now?
You know what's crazy, though? And again, talking to my younger brother, and then just talking to a lot of people, and even with me, like with this show, like I've learned a lot about the election process. People didn't know about, like, people are not familiar with the primaries. As crazy as that sound, like, my little brother was like, I thought it was just one election. Like, people are not familiar with that. And
well, whose fault is that?
I mean, a lot of it is the school system. Because, like I say, that's not, like, emphasized. Like, the regular election is what was emphasized, at least what I remember from what I paid attention to. You feel me? So I think that's, again, you don't know what you don't know.
So this is my
And then just one more thing, like, even to the point, like, Bernie did have a lot of internet support.
You can't vote on the internet.
But that's what I'm saying. But I don't think people realize that.
I said that. I was telling them that. I was
People
telling
will
them
listen
that.
one day, but
I was telling
but
y'all
I'm just saying,
that.
I think that's one of the biggest things. Like people not aware of the primaries. Like
I said this for months. You can't vote on the internet, people. If y'all were that gung-ho about Bernie Sanders, should have got your ass up and voted,
but
period.
people probably was thinking November, and that's what I'm just
No.
saying. Like we can play the blame game, but at the same time, like again, it starts with educating ourselves. Like I think this whole thing is a shift. We have to educate ourselves. We have to know like, oh damn, it is a primary.
Yeah.
We do have to know like we know these different positions, but we don't like Sharmella was in here last week. I know what a judge is. But
Right.
to know exactly what they do
And
never
how
do
they
that.
got there.
We just know from what they teach us. Like we are living off of the American education system. What they
Okay,
taught
can I
us.
ask you a question? Who had to tell y'all who the different positions on the football team? Y'all know all about that, and nobody doesn't teach you that at school. Why
We
do you
get taught
think
We
that?
play sports growing up. We play sports from 5 years old. So that's
Okay,
that's something that's
fair.
instilled into us. You feel me?
So now that we know we need to know stuff, let me tell you something else about the internet. If you don't know anything about something, you believe everything about something. You feel me? Now, if you don't know anything, if you never took a science class or a biology class and you don't know anything about like cells, and like viruses and stuff like that, someone could come out of nowhere and tell you it's the damn 5G networks that's doing this. You see what I'm saying? You see how, like, if you don't know anything about something, then anybody could tell you anything and you believe it. And that's what I saw go on. And it really makes me nervous and it really makes me scared because the people that I'm looking for as a woman, and maybe I shouldn't feel this way, so should be leading us, guiding us, and protecting us, don't know what the fuck is going on. And that's scary. That is scary. Because if you think about it, how many people have hit you like, make this go viral before they delete it? They're not deleting it because it's some like secret that they don't want to get out. It's fucking fake. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, I know they do this. They get out there and you put something out there and it's like so true and they don't want but that's kind of rare.
Yeah, I was just saying.
It's scary. It's scary, man. It's scary. The things that people believe that were going on. And they're like, and why is everybody, this is my favorite meme that was going around. You mean to tell me that a virus can be killed with soap and water is killing people? And I thought to myself, I wonder if these are the people that Trump is talking to when he says drink water and soap and Lysol. So on the surface, on your hands, yeah, you could kill it before it gets inside you. When it gets inside you, now it's too late. Like, you're sick. It troubles me. It troubles me. But we talk about this stuff all the time, and we want to get information. We want to get stuff
And
out.
that's why I say,
and
like,
if you see anything that we're saying is wrong, we welcome you.
Right, and
There's
that's why I
some
say,
empty
like,
chairs in here.
that's why I say,
is my
like, it's
purse
not-
on this video?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
To the point, like that's why I say like we gotta like a lot of people they run from what they don't know. It's just like shit. If I don't know about it, I'm not gonna fuck. And like I say with this show, like I didn't know. Like I've learned a lot about the election process, which led me to start doing my own research.
Do your
so
own
basically,
research,
It's
yeah.
like we gotta open the door, and that's what we here to do.
That's what
this
we're
show's
here to
about.
do,
Like we
y'all.
gonna open the door to this information.
Yes.
And then it's up to you to go to Google and search. Like okay,
Right.
man, let me find out more about this. And I think that's the point we're at right now. Again, back to Trump, like with him fucking everything up like he did, it make us like, man, nah, we gotta figure this shit
We
out. Let's
can't
see
be
what the fuck going on.
right.
Like, so I think everybody is waking up.
He pulled out of the World Health Organization. He pulled out of all these people that are monitoring this virus that's going around the world. He's pulled out. He doesn't want to hear what anybody else has to say. Because if anybody doesn't say what he wants them to say, he don't want to hear it.
Complete ignorance.
Every time somebody confronts him at a press conference, like, why didn't you do it? Be quiet. Shut up. We don't talk about that. That's not cool. When you think about how many people are dying,
Right.
115,000 people? 115,000 people are dead because of this virus. And you know, the only thing he says is it could have been worse.
Again, that goes back to, like I always say, like, is leadership. He's not a leader. He's not a leader. Like, all this being a president
They
is more
didn't vote
about
for him to be a leader. They voted him to be.
But that's what
an
I'm
asshole.
saying. But that's what we realize. And, like, to be, again, America is a business. So for him to be the CEO of America, when a company has bad leadership, it fails. It falls.
But let me tell you
And
what
that's
else
what
we
we seeing
learned
right
through
now.
all this. The CEOs and the heads of these companies aren't the ones that make these companies work. Because if people aren't coming to work, guess what?
And we seeing that
The essential workers are the people that make this country
we
run.
seeing that a lot of these businesses are basically a month away from bankruptcy.
Ain't that something?
That's crazy. Like,
Ain't that
this
something?
big ass facade that they got all this, and
They
that show how much power we really got.
We don't
We got
have
that much power to
and
we stop
that's
spending
what
with them
we.
for a month. They might go under. I think JCPenney, Macy's.
They were already on the
They were
brink.
already, but this just pushed them over. A lot of companies so. Like I say, people.
Starbucks. And you know, all these places banning any Black Lives Matter movements and whatnot. I mean, it's clear as day where you need to spend
Right.
your money, where you need to stay.
Right. I mean, I can tell by the price of the coffee there that they didn't want me to buy their coffee. So I know they didn't think I mattered when they.
See, I'm a Starbucks fan. That broke. I was like, oh my goodness.
See,
Where's
you guys.
freedom of speech. You know?
The white people made Starbucks famous.
Yeah.
It's all your fault.
Magic Johnson did it. I've heard about it through Magic Johnson.
Because he bought some franchises.
When they first opened.
Yeah, but when did it become cool for us?
No, I don't drink coffee. I can't.
I drink coffee. I like Starbucks, but I don't want to pay $10.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
So what do you feel like as from Black Lives Matter? Do you feel like it's gone too far? Do you feel like it's warranted what's going on? What do you think? Because I see a lot of different responses from my white friends, and it goes from, and they don't say this, but I can feel this. In my mind, they're like, well, damn, what took y'all so long? Shit been fucked up. You should have been like, did this, like wild out. And then
That's
I have
surprising to
some that
hear,
are like,
honestly.
are you okay? Like, you know I'm here, I know it's hard, and then I have some that are just like ignoring it. Like,
Yeah.
this has nothing to do with me. I have no problems with nobody. Let's just all get along.
see, and that's where the screw up is
Right.
the people that just
Don't want to be bothered with it.
you know, they put the blind eye towards it. That's where we, you have to draw the line. That's where I'm like, I have to speak up. I have to voice my opinion. Now, the Black Lives Matter movement, to me, I mean,
You get it.
I've always been in support, and I like 100% get it. Now, once you get to like because I protested, I'm not from here, but I protested back home, and once it gets into like the looting and whatnot, I feel that everybody's entitled to. I mean, it's not
Do what
even
you
my
want, yeah.
it's not my position to speak on. If that's the actions that you want to take,
yeah.
for your own self.
Yeah, for your
Excuse
own.
me.
Yeah, I can't tell you how to heal from
Right.
the trauma.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
absolutely
it's
ridiculous.
absolutely
I've seen
ridiculous.
I mean, it's so blatantly in front of my face. I mean, my friends, literally, where I'm getting treated. I mean, from anywhere, from schooling to anything to do with law enforcement, or, I have 2 biracial children as well, so I have to keep them educated.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I do ask my friends' opinions. How do I state this? Without, I don't want to. I want them to stay educated, of course, but I don't want to.
Make them feel obligated.
Yeah, but I ask questions. I try to get a different a
Yeah.
full understanding, because I could never imagine having to deal with the public the way that
In
people
my
are treated.
mind, I look at it like this: the core of racism is ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
At the very core of
It's taught.
this belief system is the fact that you don't know the right thing. You don't know whatever somebody told you. You held on to it for so long, and it felt good. it made you feel good to think that black people are always wrong, and you have a way to kind of like somebody to blame for all the ills of the world, you know? So because you grew up like that, you've stood on this core belief for so long, it affects everything in your life and just balloons into this whole thing because there's other people that gravitate toward you that feel the same way, so that validates this ignorance. And they don't teach enough about history, real history in school.
I mean, this is what I go through with my daughters. We don't celebrate Columbus Day. We don't celebrate that bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, our country is literally founded on theft. You know?
And when I tell people this all the time, and maybe people can receive it, because I'm also a believer in just because somebody has something to learn doesn't mean you're the one that's going to teach it to them. Right. And just because somebody has something to learn doesn't mean that this is the time that they're going to learn it. Right. So I think that at this time is a good time to tell people to go do an ancestry DNA. And even if you don't do the DNA, literal DNA, do a research, do some family history. Dig into these, and that's why the census is important, because when you go look up your family history, you're literally going to have to go through the census reports to see who lived where, when they died. It's all a part of statistics and the census. So I've gone back and I see my family history, and I understand why things happened the way they did and why they are the way they are now, because we've never faced it. We never faced it. Right. We never came to grips with the fact that this country was built on hard labor of people that never got paid for it. Right. So yeah, there is some animosity there, and if you don't heal something, you just put Band-Aids on top of it, and it's never going to heal. We had one of the people that was running for president that stood on this belief, Marianne Williamson. Her whole campaign was about healing America. Nobody voted for her. Nobody even paid her any mind. Everybody thought she was a space cadet. And that's what I'm saying. We have a lot of fucking nerve at the 9th inning calling Joe Biden out saying, you need to give us... What? There was 22 people running for president. 22. Jesus. So now that this guy's... The people that voted for Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. The people that voted. The people that spoke. Here comes Puffy and Naomi Campbell telling everybody, hold your vote hostage until we get what we want. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right. It's about the only thing that you don't.
Black people, when it comes to like politics, voting, shopping, we always love to say we're not a monolith. And then you have people like whoever is on like Trump's team. It's like they're so busy trying to make the world see that they're not like the rest of the black people, that they're different. So they do everything different. They vote for Trump and they're not like these black people. And I'm not even gonna say her name on this show, but you know who I'm talking about. She goes around and she's talking about how George Floyd was had all these
Candace Thompson,
whatever her name is. She's going around talking about George Floyd had all these convictions, but the difference is this man paid his dues to society. He went to jail. Unlike the cop that killed him, that has all this other shit under his belt that he never went.
And it's like, regardless, that doesn't have a damn thing to do with it.
It doesn't have a damn thing. But see, they're so busy trying to make themselves look like they're not like the rest of the black folks, so they have to try to talk down and say horrible shit, which is, to me, the worst. Just like Dave Chappelle said, like, that's the worst way to make money.
Right. I mean, you get all these people that
so
just
you're just
hop
like
on the bandwagon
you're
too.
just like you're a political whore.
Right. Literally, yeah. That's the best way to put it.
Well, we can't talk about...
With all that being said, I've been thinking about reparations. And I was like, man,
reparations.
It'll be dope if all black people debt can be relieved.
Well, Ice Cube pitched this idea, blacks don't pay taxes.
That'll be huge. Cause like I say, everything is. Somebody said it, but it's not all about finances. Everything is. Oh, it was on. Matter of fact, day one, they had a guest on, and she was just saying like, man, it's people that feel like money. That's who I heard that saying from about the money. But she was saying like, man, the economic change is not gonna solve everything. And I agree with that. Like, right. Even though I'm one of them people that pushes for that, I feel like that's number one, because it's like, okay, now we got the funds to spend on what we need to I guess, resurge these other things to spend in our community. But we gotta I forgot what I was saying.
The reparations.
The
Having
reparations.
the money isn't all.
Yeah,
You have to have the
money
knowledge
ain't
of how to
everything.
do
You gotta have the
it.
knowledge. Even you gotta have just the different resources. You feel me? I think
even
it starts with the money though.
When Reza was here, he talked about reparations and land.
Land, yeah, like you have
Because
to have
that's
resources.
how we were promised at one point 40 acres and a mule, which in today's money would be the equivalent of, I forgot what it is, but the land is what we need, like
What if
property.
they just gave us the whole South?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I think that'll be, and it ain't, but that's the thing. Now we gotta set up our government. We gotta set up. We have to run all those
How
systems.
would we do?
That's what I'm saying. Like we have to think about all that.
We
like,
need to come together
because
and
we get to the point to where some shit about to get what we want, and that's what it is. You know what I'm noticing? Us as black people, me included, we always try to find the shortcut, the route, like the discount, instead of now that we like I said, we're not focused on nothing. Now that we're taking these proper procedures and we're using the law, we're making demands. Like we weren't making demands at first, we were just yelling. Now we're making demands. Laws are being changed. These things, like niggas are making demands, like, and they're listening to these demands. We're demanding these companies to speak on our behalf, and they're making posts and shit on our behalf. Now we have to say we want this. This is what we want in return. For us to stop doing this, this is what we want in return.
I agree.
Again, the protest started because those cops weren't arrested. Those cops got arrested when they start rioting. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this is working.
And we need them to get
now
convicted.
We have to know what our demands are.
And we need to go back and get to the cases like they were saying yesterday at the rally I went to. We need to go back to those cases where the cops were not arrested, were not convicted, reopen those cases. Because I never understood why these noises weren't being made louder then. When Sandra Bland got killed, I was like one of 30 people at this protest. Can you imagine? You can't even conceptualize this. But back when Sandra Bland got killed, there was never more than like 50 people at the protest in Houston. There was never a lot of people that showed up. And I was just like, are you kidding me?
I'm sure COVID, with the options right now,
Right. People just, yeah. Speaking of reparations, BET founder Robert Johnson called for a $14 trillion package for reparations for slavery. He said reparations would send a signal that white Americans acknowledge the damage that are owed for the unequal playing field created by slavery and decades since. The wealth divide and police brutality against blacks are at the heart of the protest and have erupted across the nations following the killing of George Floyd. He is the founder of BET, and he said that the U.S. government should provide $14 trillion in reparations, especially since we've seen them pull $14 trillion out of their ass for COVID. So we know they got it, right? Because before, Mitch McConnell made the argument that they couldn't afford to do that, so they didn't have it. So now that we know y'all got it, give it. We need our stuff. Wealth transfer is what's needed, he said. Think about it. Since 200 plus years of slavery, labor taken with no compensation is a wealth transfer. Denial of access to education, which is a primary driver of accumulation of income and wealth, is a wealth transfer. So, calling reparations the affirmative action program of all times, he said it would send a signal that white Americans acknowledge the damage that they've done. And then Merck CEO chimed in, Ken Frazier, he's also black. He said he doubted whether reparations would be possible. Yeah, because you're rich, so you don't care. We as business leaders can step up and solve many of these economic problems for people, he said. Education, particularly financial literacy, is the great equalizer. So we've had financial service people on here. We can talk about that. We can get more of them on there. We can talk about that. It's whatever you guys think we should do. We are here. We want to be a key in having these conversations. We want to play a role in that part of the community. So if there's anyone that you guys think should be on here, let us know. I'll find somebody. I'm always out here looking for people. Like, come tell me what you think about this. So make sure you guys stay a part of this community and follow us and share. And we've been getting a lot of people lately with all this stuff going on because we've had some of these mothers of these people that have been killed by police on the show and tell us their stories. A lot of the old stories are picking up on our page. So make sure you check out our previous episodes. Go down the timeline and check out some of the stuff, particularly Kendrick Johnson's case. If you'll remember, in South Georgia, Kendrick Johnson is a young man that was at school, and he was allegedly he rolled himself up in a gym mat. I was out there marching with his mother yesterday, and they're still trying to get justice for him. Nobody has ever been held accountable for the murder of that young man. And I'm going to say murder because that's what it was, because you can't roll yourself up in no damn gym mat. And then when they found him, they did an autopsy, they found out that his organs were missing. And then when they looked at his fingernails were cut down to like, why would they do that? Clearly they're covering up something, and it's deep. From the school board to the police to the investigators. You know, this is what happens when you get involved in this stuff. And, you know, all of a sudden you're thrown into this thing, and, you know, it costs money and it takes time. So I encourage people, you don't always have to look for a celebrity to represent you. Or
that's what I was going to say, too.
You don't need a celebrity.
With
if
this,
enough people get involved, people come on my page, on CTD_ATL on our page, and they tag Kim Kardashian. They tag all these people. And I'm like, if you share it and enough people share it, you don't need them. We are witnessing a people movement right now. We're not looking at the celebrities coming out and saying stuff a lot. And now we're realizing that's fine. Because if enough of us do it, then...
Because at the end of the day, like, that's the thing about with the celebrities, like, it's just their opinion.
And they came up in the same school system we came up in.
If you're not listening to experts, and that's one thing, like, with connecting the dots, like, of course we want to have community discussion, but when we have people talking about, like, if we specializing on talking about COVID, we're going to have a specialist in that field, not just some random person giving their opinion. Of course, we're going to have our opinions about it, but we're people. But at the same time, we want our job is to educate the people as well, so we getting experts in those fields.
So when COVID was going on, before I realized we weren't going to be recording in the studio and we hadn't figured out what the next step was going to be, my thing was I was looking for a black epidemiologist to talk about viral infections and viruses. And when I looked one up, guess who came up? The one that died. Remember the one that got... Oh, yeah. That was the only one I could find, and he died. Do you remember that case? We talked about that on a previous episode. Again? Hold on, let me look it up.
I could picture his face. It was at the CDC, wasn't it?
Yeah, he worked at the CDC.
He's African?
Yeah.
Yes, Dr.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. But that was what, like 2 years ago?
Uh-huh. His name was Timothy Cunningham.
That name don't sound familiar.
2018, he was found near his Atlanta home. He worked at the CDC, and they said that he was having problems with he didn't get promoted or something, and they thought that he quit, or it was a big old mess. But yeah, we talked about that before too. So if you do know an epidemiologist, that would be cool. I'll reach out to some and see if we can get some in, because we're still dealing with COVID, people. We are still dealing with COVID. So we can wrap it up soon. You guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Shout out to LeBron. And I don't know if Ava DuVernay is on that too, but they doing the Tulsa.
Oh yeah, they're doing a movie about Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Is Ava DuVernay on that?
I don't know. I think it's a different production company.
I know his production company is.
Yeah, his production company.
But I think I heard that she was making a documentary on that too. Let me check and see. Tulsa. Yeah, I can't find it. Well, yeah, shout out to her. What else? What else going on? And you say it's a protest tomorrow or Monday?
Yep.
With the what's that one for?
It's the NAACP march. I want to look. Okay, this is what I was going to say, speaking of LeBron, before I find out about the protest. LeBron James also launched a voting rights initiative.
Oh, yeah, with some of the players, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's he and several other professional athletes launched a charitable organization aimed at voting rights. So he also steps up all the time, LeBron. He's announced that he and several other professional athletes have launched a charitable organization to protect Black American voting rights.
I think Trae Young, the point guard for the Hawks, he a part of it.
He plans on, the name of the nonprofit organization is More Than a Vote. So Google that, keep on top of that, support that. It's in lockstep with his mantra, more than an athlete. More Than a Vote will encourage Black people to not only register and vote for November election, but it plans on also exposing voter suppression tactics such as misinformation spread through social media. Thank you, LeBron. We just got finished talking about that. Misinformation spread through social media. He plans on using his social media platform to try and combat the perils of voter suppression, and he will be vocal about drawing attention to any attempts to restrict the enfranchisement of racial minorities. Thank you, LeBron. We needed that. Stacey Abrams has such an initiative as well. And also, let's keep an eye on who Joe Biden picks for his VP. He said it's going to be a Black woman.
This week?
He's picking it this week?
No, I thought you were saying.
Oh, no, one day soon. Also,
who was in the running? I know Keisha. I heard Stacey. And there was another
Abrams.
Black lady.
What I was gonna say is her Fair Fight. That's the name of her website that you could go to. It also aims at voter suppression information. So in the running, Stacey Abrams, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, Kamala Harris. There was somebody else, Loretta Lynch.
Yeah, it was a lady that she wasn't as popular. I remember reading her name.
Yeah, Amy Klobuchar, Tammy Baldwin. So there's a couple of people that are on his short list, allegedly. Of course, Tammy Duckworth, Susan Rice.
I heard Condoleezza Rice.
Oh.
I heard her name get thrown out there.
I don't know. You know, people spread rumors. And that's another reason why Mayor Keisha wants y'all to go home and act right. Y'all messing up her chances of being VP. Mayor Keisha got on there and said, go home.
Shout out to Florida. They I saw something that they letting the athletes starting in 2021.
Yes,
2021.
we posted an article on CTD_ATL. Everybody was all excited. The state of Florida, these people aren't waiting for the federal government to make this decision. Each state is saying that they are going to allow, well, Florida at least. I think there was another state before, wasn't it? New York?
California.
Yeah, they are going to allow college athletes to make money off their likeness, their image and likeness, which is a great push forward.
I think New York did pass it. I know California was first.
California was what I was thinking of. California and Florida for sure. What else was going on? What else did we post on the page? You got to keep up on CTD ATL, y'all, because that's where we...
Shout out to Kim and Karatova on the streets, to get in the live coverage.
We was out there. Karatova was out there. I was like, girl, be careful. She was making me so nervous. Karatova, I saw her today, but she was like in reporter mode. She didn't even see me, but I saw her out there at the Wendy's that got burned down last night. I went there this morning on my way to the show just to see, and man, let me tell you, I was crying. It was so emotional. You could feel, when you got to that Wendy's, when you get out your car, you could feel like it's not really anger, but it's just like enough. You know what I'm saying? Like you get out and you just feel it in the air. Like it's like people are tired. People are tired. It's like that poor family. I'm so sick of seeing black women on TV crying over dead sons, fathers, and children, and like just I don't like that. And it's almost like, so when I was leaving to come to the show, I was over there and I went and gave my condolences and I like cried or whatever. And when I was leaving, I saw these people pull up in a Tesla. It's like people are coming by just to see. And it's like, are these people getting enjoyment out of seeing us like suffer? Or are you coming to really take it in like I did because it's going to help you to do something about it?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, you got to let people, start with yourself. Like, you can't really expect people to move a certain way or worry about how people move. Like, if they ain't moving how you moving, you don't have to fuck with them.
True.
And it's just like, man, you just got to let people just take all this in, how they going to take it in. Some people taking this like the younger people or some other people, they're taking this, they're learning this about looting. Like, they learning in different ways. Like, some people are learning about peaceful protesting.
I can't judge.
Everybody is.
I
you
can't
cope
judge.
in different ways. You learn in different ways, and I think that's what we're seeing. I think we just got to let it play out. We can't.
I can't judge.
We can't bash somebody for how they, how they handle this situation. Just like a lot of people, they was getting mad at celebrities for what they were saying. It's just like, man, this is how they feel.
They got to do stuff behind the scenes. A lot of
me?
these people are funding some of the people that you see on the front line. Some of the money that's coming from some of these activists. Mm-hmm. These activists, their job is activism, right? They don't get a paycheck. Some of the money that is funding these activists is coming from behind the scenes from celebrities. Like, don't judge them. You don't know who's giving these people money. You don't know why these people are doing what they're doing. They can't come out and say, okay, what he said was wrong, because those are the people that are giving them money. Those are the people that fill in their pockets.
With celebrities, if a celebrity is like the people, social media, the people are going to say it's a bunch of opinions. Right. So if I'm a celebrity or if I'm a person in a high position and I'm answering every time somebody got a critique of me, man, I'm gonna forget the whole mission, because I'm so busy going back and forth trying to answer like, no, I did this because of it. Explaining myself. Why do I have to keep explaining myself? I said what I'm gonna do, and this is what I'm doing. I don't have to tell you every time I donate some money, every time I start a foundation, and that's what people want. They want everything to be transparent. But I can't if I'm on the internet explaining everything I'm doing, then how am I actually working? That's what we seeing with Trump. Trump on the internet talking about everything he's doing, and the country is on fire. That's the problem. Like, us as people, we didn't got to the world to where we want answers for everything.
Right away, right now.
Right away. If we don't see the answers right then and there, then you doing some bullshit or you ain't with the move. It's just like, man, just let people, just do you. Like, focus on yourself. Be better yourself and stop worrying about what other people are doing. Stop worrying about other people's pockets, what they need to be doing with their money. Shit, take the little bit you got and support whatever cause you want to support. You telling this person to support. You can't control what people do, and that's what we gotta understand that.
And I want y'all to do some homework. Sometimes I tell y'all to do something. Talk to your elders. Jay Black's grandfather was on this show, and he gave us some gems. Talk to your parents. I can't tell you what to do. Because in the 90s, when Rodney King got beat the hell out of, I mean, that was a younger me. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tell the young people what not to do right now. Because when I was your age, when they beat Rodney King, they was out there wilding. Where you think the song Fuck the Police came from? That was from our generation, because we were fucking tired. So, I mean, fight the power, fuck the police. The hip-hop was a reflection of what was going on back then. So when they put crack in the community in the 80s and in the 90s, when we were going to jail more than anybody else, this is what that came out of. And I'm starting to see some now. Lil Baby made a song about it. He made a video about it. These kids are screaming. So I'm going to wrap it up because, I could be here all day. But thank you guys. Thank you for coming by. You can come by anytime. Thank you for giving us your opinion. If you guys, make sure, like I said, subscribe to Innovative Black Station on YouTube. Follow CTD_ATL on Instagram.
We gotta get the Twitter, man. I've been meaning to make the Twitter. I know you was talking about it.
We got to make a Twitter. If we make a Twitter, we'll get more people engaged.
Because that
Twitter
type of
is
crowd.
more.
Yeah.
Facebook, y'all. Yeah, we gotta push away from Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg. Shout out to Twitter.
Facebook is the family reunion.
Yeah, Facebook is like.
You had a family reunion every 2 years, so you feel me? You don't have to deal with that all the time.
Twitter, shout out to this Twitter CEO for trying to not really censor, but put a warning label on some of Trump's tweets. And they also, I think they made a donation to Black Lives Matter. So shout out to Twitter. I think we should all start navigating to Twitter. What do you guys say? We're going to make a Twitter this week, Jay Black. Let's promise each other.
Let's do it.
Okay. We're going to make a CTD Twitter page, y'all. But until then, we will see you next week. Thank you for watching. And make sure you participate in all these ongoing conversations that we are going to continue to have. And we love you guys. We're all surviving this crazy world together. Peace.
History.